Hey guys, back here with some updates on Moonrise. I have been actively playing for this good month, and I haven't been streaming a lot because really all we've been doing has been farming, releasing Solaris. We've been going into the dungeons, the main dungeon over here, the Spire, beating the level 10 dungeon on auto fights, or some of the other level dungeons, depending on what level Solari we have to level up. We are leveling up our guys. We are releasing Solaris, so we have a whole team right here. And you'll notice that we've got a whole lot more 5-star Solaris. And so that's what I'm working on, is just leveling them up, and it takes a lot of experience to level them up. How we've been getting the Solaris is releasing the ones that we've been catching. So we catch 2-star, 3-star, very, very rarely 4-star Solari, and then we release them, and we get gems. This is currently only on iOS. There's 2 different versions running of this same game. They are beta testing different things in the Steam version. Steam version is more current. iOS has not had an update for about a month. So the Steam version has a different setup. You don't get gems when you release Solari. You get evolution materials instead. So personally, I love gems because that's the real money currency, and the only way to get it is to really run dungeons, or to complete special daily tasks, or to do the PvP and have a really good record in the arena draft mode. This way is like almost too simple. You go ahead, catch Solari, and then release it, and you get a lot of gems. So you see 20 gems, that's the equivalent of like 20 cents. Pretty much you look at the gems as 1 penny each gem, so that's 20 cents right there. In a small amount of time, I've generated over 15,000 gems, and we've bought a lot of these Solari keyrings that you've seen in some of the other videos, or the Solari tokens, I should say, and we've used them to summon out Solaris, and that's where you get 5-star Solaris fairly frequently. It's about 1 in about 15 or 1 in about 20 chance to get a 5-star Solari there. So it's about 1 in every 4,000 gems or so. You can also get a 4-star. The very minimum is a 3-star Solari. And so that's what I've been doing. It's very repetitive, very mind-numbing. You don't really do much thinking. Again, it's all auto fights, so there hasn't been much to talk about in this game. But yeah, that's what we'll be doing. I highly recommend to download the game on iOS to get the gems, because it's going to be a cross-platform game, meaning you can play on the iOS version when you're out and about on your phone, or the Android version when it is released. You can play on your phone. You can then sit down at your computer at home, load up your Steam account, and your account will be linked together so you can play on your computer when you're at home. So both accounts are supposed to be linked together in one big cloud-like feature. The combat and everything is the same. They've changed up some of the icons in the Steam version, made it kind of more user-friendly. They've also tweaked some abilities. Stun isn't as effective in the Steam version. It's still very, very effective, but it's not as powerful. Stun used to stun your opponent for 3 seconds. It still interrupts your moves, but now in the Steam version, it only stuns your opponent for 1 second. So it interrupts and disrupts the move, the casting, and then it makes them stunned for 1 second rather than 3. So it may not sound like a big difference, but it is a fairly big difference. But yeah, the combat is the same. So if you're playing on Steam, you're going to see the exact same combat. Steam actually does have access to a couple new creatures in the arena draft mode. They have unlocked a couple more tier 3 Solaris. They still do not have access to the new region or the new town. So most of the Solari cannot go up to tier 3 on their own. You have to catch them in the Solari keys, or you can check them out in the arena draft mode if you get lucky and pull one. The arena draft mode is very, very similar on both versions, almost identical. Currently, if you are drafting, you'll only fight people on your own platform. So if you're drafting an iOS, we'll only fight people on the iOS platform. If you're drafting on Steam, you'll only fight people on the Steam platform because they are separate entities right now. They will be coming together. Supposedly, that is the grand plan as the game approaches launch. We should be getting fairly soon to launch as well because they've been saying it's a spring launch, and we are currently in spring right now. So we will see how close they are to actually making that deadline. They are doing a lot of bug fixing. So if you find any bugs, post them on their forums. And that is the update here for Moonrise. I do highly recommend downloading the iOS version. You can only get that if you are in certain countries, so I'll post the link down below how to create a Canadian iTunes account to download this game so you can play. Way better version to play, in my opinion, because you can actually earn the real life currency, the gems, by just playing the game fairly limited. You can have a lot of gems and make yourself a lot stronger faster. Whereas the Steam version, there's some quality of life fixes, but without getting the gems freely, you do notice that you're not getting as much experience, you're not getting as much gold. Things are a little bit more difficult because you can't earn gems anywhere really besides dungeons, and you have to wait for your dungeon timers to go down. You also don't get as many dungeon tickets from releasing Solari as you do here on the iOS version. So overall, they are tweaking, learning, trying to figure out the correct balance for the game. Let your feedback be known on their forums, of course. They are listening, they read everything. They're really good at implementing certain things, talking to the community. So that's definitely a nice aspect of the company. Again, it's Undead Labs. I'll link their forums down below as well. And thanks for watching. This is the Moonrise update.